Hey guys, Vern Danke, welcome back. So it is 3:45 a.m. I was going to title this 2 a.m. Thoughts, but I think I need to title it 3 a.m. Thoughts. So I've been up since about 2, and my mind has been racing. Now, I remember having a tea that I made from a little chopped up clove of garlic and also of a piece of lemon, pretty good slice, maybe a big thick slice, and then chop that up. And I'm telling you what, man, my energy kind of went through the roof and my mind has just been racing. So there's something in there that really is of a value if you're starting to feel just kind of tired and run down. That'll get you going. Now this will be maybe just a little bit different from my normal videos. And the reason I thought I'd make this video is it kind of tied into what I had said in one of the last live streams. And what I had said was that if men don't lead and teach other men how to be a foundation, then nothing works in this life. It can't work. We're just doomed to fail. So what I've come to realize that foundation is everything. Without a solid foundation, everything is a waste of time. Everything. Now, when I was a kid growing up in South Minneapolis, I remember my elementary school, which was 2 blocks away from my house, and at grade 3 they closed it. They sold the land and they decided to build some apartment buildings on that ground, which was a total shame. But in any event, something I noticed that stuck out, that still has stayed with me all these years, is how they did some of the construction. Now, what they did is they laid all this rebar out really nice after packing a gravel base, and then they laid the foundational slab. And off the slab, they put small pieces of steel rebar that connected to the actual concrete base, and then they put the walls up. And the walls were attached to that steel with other pieces of steel that ran through the blocks. And those hollow blocks, they packed concrete through there with steel. And when they actually put the blocks together, they laid the nice slab of mortar. They put the block down, they tapped it out, and then they scraped the sides. So everything looked really clean, real presentable. There weren't any voids, there weren't any broken blocks. Everything was the strongest possible foundation and walls that you could possibly build at that time that we knew of. And I didn't realize what I was seeing at the time until years later. And I didn't understand the importance of it. Now, sometimes in this life, we're told that anything can be a foundation, right? You can build on the sand, you can build on the beach, you can build on, you can build using inferior construction materials. Now, when I came to the Philippines, and basically Asia in general, I seen the different methods of construction. I seen houses that were made from bamboo. I seen houses that were really simple, made from maybe banana leaves, maybe just like a shelter. I've also seen houses that were made with probably the most inferior hollow block construction I've ever seen in my life, partly due to expense, partly due to maybe never having seen a sound construction being built before. And I don't fault them for that, but there's a reason I'm bringing this up. Now, if you think about the typhoons that hit the Philippines, and imagine you have a bamboo shelter. Well, the bamboo shelter is fine until the strong winds come and the pressures push and push and push, and they're relentless and they don't give up and they keep blowing and blowing until finally everything starts to fall apart and just it's gone. Your house is scattered across the fields, scattered across the neighbors. Your house is no more. It cannot stand. It was not designed to withstand what was coming. Now, if it was a banana leaf, yeah, that would even last a lot less time. But the other thing is, you can build out of concrete, right? And it can handle the winds. But if you hodgepodge a concrete construction and you don't tie it to a foundation with steel that's going throughout the foundation, and you don't tie it to the walls correctly, and you just put one piece of steel here and maybe one piece of steel here, and then you use blocks that aren't strong blocks that are basically so weak a block that sometimes they crumble in your hands, and then you don't pack mortar into the hollow areas of that block with steel going through there, making sure that concrete gets from the top to the bottom. And then what happens when the earthquake comes? It can handle the wind. But what happens when the ground starts shaking and it starts shaking? What's going to happen? Your house is going to go. It can't handle it. The foundation has to be strong. If that foundation is not strong and built correctly, nothing can stand. Nothing. It's all about foundation. You know, and being a Christian, the one thing that the Christian Bible taught me is it's a book about foundation. Now, I didn't come here to preach the Bible, but I came here to talk about foundation. Now, men instinctively, between men and women, know that the man needs to be the foundation. Why? Why can't the woman be the foundation? Because the foundation needs to be the strongest possible thing that can endure anything that can come at it. And a man with good principles, with good morals, with good ethic, with a sound mind, can become the strongest foundation for that family. And so that's what this is kind of about today. The reason I chose to come to Asia, to basically the Philippines, is because some things still make sense here. When I was growing up in the USA, we were taught that anything could be a foundation anymore. But is that true? The man can lead, the woman can lead, you know? And what happens is it becomes this confusing mess. So when we travel, it should shape us, it should grow us, it should change us. Because we learn of the things from where we began, we learn from the area that we're in. It's changing us, it's adapting our mindset to grow higher, to learn more. And that's the takeaway from travel. It should be of a value. And when I'm in these places, I can reflect differently because I'm not in the old, I'm in the new. And there just becomes this automatic thing where you compare the two and you weigh things out and you go, what is this that I have now? And what did I have before? And why did it work this way or try to work this way before and it didn't make any sense? But I was taught that it should have made sense, but it didn't make sense. It wasn't logical. It wasn't sound. It wasn't a good foundation. So if I go back to the book and I look at the beginning, man was taught to be a foundation. And the funniest thing is, if the woman could be convinced that instinctively she was a mistake, that she wasn't designed the way she instinctively feels growing up, and she can be convinced to take away his headship, his leadership, his ability to be a strong foundation, then everything falls apart. Nothing can work. Nothing. You know, it's funny. I remember hearing growing up that women would say, he needs to put his foot down. He needs to stand up to whatever and put his foot down. And you know what that tells me? That tells me deep inside a woman, she knows he needs to be a foundation. Despite what the world teaches, despite anything else, instinctively, as humans, we're designed a certain way. And that's the only way it can work. You know, you can play with different foundations, But the only one that really works is by design, by strength. You know, I had a lot of reasons to not make this, and I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, it's not completely travel related. No, it's not. But is it important? Yeah, I think it's really important. And if good men don't stand up and give truth, then we've lost it. We've lost everything. And then what? Then what? What do the kids have? You know? What does the family have? If we lose our foundation as men, then we lose our family. We lose the ability to help other men be good men. And if a man doesn't have a foundation that he's upon, a rock, then he's no good either, because he also needs a foundation. So, foundation's everything, you guys. If anything can exist and endure, it has to have the best, strongest foundation possible. It just makes sense. It's not my principle, or, you know, I didn't make it this way. It's just, it is how it is. Now it's 4 a.m. I hope we had something to chew on today. You know, there used to be a saying years ago, and it was like, do you have any meat? And what did that mean? It meant, can you give me something that I can chew on? That I can think about? Something of substance. And hopefully at 4 a.m. I didn't give you something to spit up, or something that was of a junk food. Anyway, if you like these early morning chats, let me know. I'm gonna go back to bed. I'm still tired. Like I said, my brain is spinning, but my body's still wanting to go back to bed. So, all right, you guys.
Hey, Vern.